To motoringnorthwest.com and the new Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, or plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, or as most people call them, a PHEV. Right, this is the third generation. There's not a tremendous difference visually between this and the second generation, apart from tweaks around the lights, bits and pieces around the grille. They have changed ever so slightly. Also, this is called the leather, which means you get, as the name might imply, leather trimmed cabin inside. It's very nice inside. It's nothing spectacular, but it's very nice, very comfortable, plus enough place to have to spend time while you're driving around in it. The main differences between the second generation PHEV and the third generation are, to a degree, what you can't see. It's the technology that has improved quite considerably. Beneath the bonnet, you now have a 2.4 litre four-cylinder petrol engine that's giving 133 brake horsepower compared to the 119 that went before. You've more torque, and beneath the bonnet, you've also got the 70 kilowatt electric motor, and another smaller one sits between the rear wheels. So what's changed? What's changed is, to compare to the conventional one, seats 6 and 7, because the Outlander is technically a 7-seater, are no longer there because the batteries have to live somewhere, and that's where they live, where the folding seats would have been. There is still no sat-nav, which for a vehicle that has a starting price of £39,500 is, in my opinion, something of an oversight. The vehicle, given it's so technologically advanced, really should have a sat-nav system in. I know they say use your phone, but no, it should have a sat-nav. Right. To drive. It's the driving of the vehicle that makes the hybrid unusual, or you have to change your driving style. Unlike a lot of the original Outlanders, this will now charge off a conventional 13 amp plug, and you can get a full charge in round about 5 hours, which isn't bad at all, which means when you get home at night time, plug it into a normal 13 amp plug and away you go. Full charge will give you round about 34 to 36 miles. Depends where you live. If you live somewhere nice and flat, yes, you will get your full range. If you live somewhere where it's hilly, no, you won't. You will need the petrol engine to assist. I have run this vehicle now for just over a week. I started with a full charge and decided that instead of charging it up every time I used it, I would see how things went. It's currently now got a range of 8 miles of electricity. It's the driving style. What you have to do is, as you're driving along, you can use the regeneration, which are operated ostensibly by the paddles. They look like paddle gear shifts, they are not. They're also the wrong way around. Minus increases the rate of regeneration, plus reduces it. They actually need moving around. It works all right if you put it in what's called B1 or B2, or maybe B3. Every time you brake, every time you're coasting, every time you're going downhill, the batteries will happily regenerate themselves, and you can generally keep it somewhere between 15 and 20 miles of electric. If you're only doing a short journey, there's the option of it being pure electric. So if you're only doing, say, 6 miles one way, 6 miles the other, drive it as an electric vehicle and you will not use any petrol. The other bonus of the new petrol engine is it's far more economical. If you're running it as purely petrol, you can now happily get 36 up to 42 miles per gallon on motorways. Add in the electric and they happily work together. You will achieve, basically over a period of time, the 130 miles per gallon that it is capable of. But you need to adapt your style. You need to be gentle while you're driving the hybrid. Harsh acceleration, there is a sport mode. You will watch your electricity or your electrical charge or distance absolutely vanish. But drive it sensibly, keep within the speed limits, drive it gently, and you will find it works together. I have had no need to consider recharging this vehicle over the week that I've had it. And as I said, I've done that purposely, and it's worked quite well. It isn't the most inspirational vehicle to drive, but it's not meant to be. There's four-wheel drive. It's basically, you can lock it into four-wheel drive, you can leave it in what's called normal, which means it works it out itself, and there's a snow setting. But as you can see, it is not a hardcore 4x4 or off-roader. It's a very, very sure-footed road car. Regard it as a big estate car, SUV-style estate car, and that's absolutely ideal. That's what you will get. It's also worth bearing in mind, if you live anywhere where there's hills, you will get through your electricity quicker, because it takes more electric to get it up a hill than it does to send it along a flat piece of road. The one thing you have to be careful of with this and all similar vehicles are the gauges and the readouts that tell you that how the electricity is flowing, whether you're regenerating, if it's flowing out, if it's flowing in. You tend to at times become, shall we say, absorbed by that over what you should be doing, which is looking where you're going. So they can be distracting when you start to drive them. But in the main, the Mitsubishi Outlander Hybrid was in many ways the first of its type, or the first to become very popular of its type. You need to adapt your driving style to suit. If you try and drive it like a conventional diesel power, you are not getting the benefits of driving this car. As I said, the main problem is you can't become distracted. You can become absolutely bound up in trying to make sure the batteries are fully charged at all times. Don't worry about it. Just let the vehicle get on with it. It's one of those things. If it suits your driving, your needs, it is definitely a vehicle worth considering. As the hybrids become more and more popular, Mitsubishi have advanced the Outlander quite a lot. It is easier to drive. It doesn't require the same amount of input that maybe the earlier models required. It does more for you. It is easier to drive. The larger petrol engine is more refined. It does a better job of giving you economy. And the amount of charge it carries now will, as I said, give you more distance. You need to work out, do you need this type of car? If you do, then Mitsubishi's Outlander PHEV is probably a vehicle definitely worth you going to have a look at, going to try. If you've never driven a hybrid, you can have lessons in doing it, and I will suggest you get your lessons in doing it. As I said, it's a whole new style of driving. You need to adapt to it on the motorways. Keep to the speed limits. Okay, we're meant to do that all the time. But lay off the harsh acceleration, drive it gently, keep an eye on the gauges so you know what you're doing. As I said, when you get home at night time, you don't have to go and find a charger somewhere. Plug it into a 13 amp plug. You can even set it so it will charge at night time when electricity is at its cheapest. And you can wake up every morning and you've got your full 30 odd mile range. Use them together, absolutely great. What you can do if you want is flick a switch and the amount of electricity you've used is stored. It runs as a pure petrol engine. You can flick the other switch and it regenerates. But you will get used to how to drive it and how to work it and how to get the best out of it. They are unusual to start with. Mitsubishi's new Outlander is, by looks alone, you can tell it's becoming, shall we say, slightly more Americanized. This will appeal to some, it won't appeal to others. It is what it is, as the saying goes. If it's of interest to you, go have a look at one and test drive one. But work out and learn how to actually drive a hybrid. If you don't, it will be of no benefit to you whatsoever. If you do and you work it out, yes, they will give you quite astronomical miles per gallon. But there is a definite style and a definite technique. Learn it, stick to it, and you'll be happy with your Mitsubishi Outlander. If you want to read the full review, go to motoringnorthwest.com or tune into the Backseat Driver radio show on Drystone Radio 103.5 FM or via the free app, which once again you can source through the motoringnorthwest.com website. So until then, thank you very much.